Hello, my name is Christy Rojas, and today I'm going to present on non-governmental organizations and their roles within disaster. Non-government organizations are an asset to the government in the time of disaster. Very briefly, I want to define what a non-governmental organization is. As its name states, it's an organization that is neither governmental nor for-profit. A non-governmental organization, or some may call it a nonprofit, typically is founded by a voluntary group of citizens based on critical mission to defend, promote, or serve a specific cause. Non-governmental organizations may be local, national, or international. They are also many times referred to as NGOs. Many disaster organizations are part of a larger organization called Volunteers Active in Disasters, or VOAD. VOAD is a nonprofit. It's nonpartisan and it's a membership-based organization that builds resilience in communities nationwide. The idea is for volunteer organizations to work together to provide disaster relief to their communities through communication and coordination without duplicating services. VOAD focuses on the 4 C's: cooperation, communication, coordination, and collaboration. Throughout history, non-governmental organizations have had important roles in disaster recovery. As we have previously discussed in this class, governmental response to disasters on a large-scale level is a fairly new idea. Previously, it was up to local communities to respond, and the best players in that response were nonprofits. While government response is now common and quite frankly expected, governments aren't always able to provide and respond to all the needs of a community post-disaster. This is when non-governmental organizations can step in to fill the gaps. Non-government organizations do not have to respond in the same way as government organizations such as CERT here locally in Florida or FEMA nationally. NGOs are able to use less cumbersome processes, and because of their relationships within the community, they are many times able to respond quicker and more efficiently. During a disaster, NGOs are able to fill the gaps that the government agencies struggle to fill, provide and coordinate trained volunteers. NGOs have specialized services that are better able to serve the communities in need, distribute food, water, clothing, and other basic needs, provide communication, provide shelter, administer first aid or distribute medical supplies, provide transportation, home repairs, mental health, cleanup, or just sometimes the needed manpower. When thinking of non-governmental organizations and disaster relief, the American Red Cross may come to mind for many. The American Red Cross was established in 1881 by Clara Barton to provide neutral aid to victims of war. Today, the Red Cross is a well-known international disaster relief organization. The American Red Cross, as well as the International Red Cross, provides basic support to victims of disaster. Red Cross is unique in being one of the first established disaster nonprofits. In 1900, Congress mandated that the American Red Cross provide disaster relief in times of peace. American Red Cross is unique in that it is the only unfunded congressional mandate. While so many non-governmental organizations exist with the mission to serve others before, during, or after disaster, many NGOs would not classify themselves as disaster response organizations. However, 2 examples come to mind. One is Meals on Wheels and the Homeless Coalition. While these 2 programs would not consider themselves voluntary organizations active in disasters, they both react in the time of disasters. If a hurricane warning is issued, Meals on Wheels will spring into action, ensuring their clients, who depend on them for food, have received their meals along with a few days extra supply to prepare them for pre-storm and post-storm. Similarly, the Homeless Coalition responds when a freeze warning goes into effect. In many cities, they open up extra shelters or temporary cold night shelters. both organizations do their best to serve their existing clients. Because these two organizations work daily to provide support to clients, they have the resources, personnel, and typically mobilize quickly in times of crisis. They are local organizations who have established and trusted relationships in their community. This principle can be true of most non-governmental agencies, disaster relief or otherwise. NGOs play a critical role in recovering from disasters. The organizations that specialize in serving their communities are able to provide disaster victims with disaster mitigation, response, and recovery. They continue to build the community for years to come by those impacted by a disaster. Communities are dependent on non-governmental organizations before, during, and post-disaster. Thank you.